Good morning, good morning. This is Dusten Lyvers, the fabulous medium. And I thought that I would invite you all while I'm having breakfast. I'm having my banana and strawberry yogurt smoothie, along with a cup of coffee. I like to drink my breakfast at times. That's the good stuff. And have a conversation about mediumship and some of the ways that may separate me from just your average typical medium that you see on the side of the road. So, for all of those who follow me online, you may be aware of my educational background. I have 2 master's degrees, one in education and one in spirituality, culture, and health. And I'm currently in a PhD program where I study spirituality and what the literature is calling anomalous experiences in counseling. And I also engage in humor and laughter research because I'm a funny guy and I think that humor and laughter is very therapeutic for people. And you can see that even in readings. Spirits have a sense of humor. But something that I want to talk about is a tough topic today. And that's, how do you deliver messages that you don't agree with? Because I've seen from a lot of mediums that I follow online and that I see talking about how spirit does not talk about things that don't align with their views. Now that is not true. Whether you are Republican or Democrat, pro-life, not pro-life, pro-choice, whatever your religion may be, that's not for you to be putting on to spirits that you're connecting with. We are the medium, the literal term being the middle, the connector. We are not connecting if we are putting our stuff on either our client or the spirit. So I can share with all of you some readings that I have done, messages that I've delivered that I do not agree with, but that is not for me to decide. It's for the client. I'm simply allowing the spirit to speak their truth to their loved one. And it is not for me to put my truth onto the spirit or the sitter. And so some examples of this, I remember one time I was doing a group reading at the Elks Lodge. And this was, where was this? It was for the Special Olympics fundraiser I do every year. Gosh, I can never remember where that is. But anyway, it was in Indiana. And I remember I was connecting to a gentleman, very typical Midwestern gentleman spirit that was connecting with me. And he was talking about his guns. Guns were very important to this man. And he had told me to tell the person I was reading for that he was very aware that his shotguns had been passed down to his sons. And those shotguns have a lot of meaning for that man and his family. Now, if anyone knows me, I do not have guns in my house. In fact, guns give me anxiety. When I go and see guns, I get anxious. My heart rate starts racing. I immediately think of guns as killing people. And I'm a pacifist. If anyone knows me, they would know that they could never see me fighting somebody. Like that. That's just not me. I'm a pacifist. My spiritual beliefs are nonviolence. I don't condone violence at all. In fact, that was one of the reasons for leaving some of the Abrahamic religious teachings, but I won't get into that. But because I just simply cannot condone violence. That goes so against me. And so I'm telling these people that these guns are very meaningful. I'm delivering messages about guns, talking about guns, and they were crying. I mean, it was a beautiful message, a strong connection. Um, but I had to put some of my own stuff to the side, right? I'm like, I know that I'm getting anxious, but I'm gonna trust that the Spirit's showing me guns for a reason, and I'm gonna move forward with it. Similarly, I have had spirits come through and tell me that they've met Jesus on the other side. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, Jesus, totally. In fact, that goes against my personal beliefs. But I've had spirits tell me I've met Jesus on the other side. And so I'm going to deliver that. So I will tell the client, they're with Jesus. They just told me that they met Jesus on the other side. And of course they cry, and they're very Christian oriented faith, and it's so meaningful to them, and they've prayed at their bedside when they died, and they said, be with Jesus. This has been a few times I've heard this. Again, being in the Midwestern area, in the US, Christianity is a big thing over here. And so that's not for me to argue. I'm simply delivering the message. I've seen mediums who won't deliver those kinds of messages because it goes against their beliefs, or they'll sugarcoat it or tone it down. They won't talk about guns or Jesus or Buddha or whatever religion the Spirit is that's talking to them. Similarly, I've had readings with people who have had abortions. And it's not for me to decide whether that's right or wrong, or if you could even put a label on that. This is not what's going on here. It's for me to be able to be a voice for the Spirit. So I've had spirits come through who were aborted, and some of the sitters regret that decision, and some of them do not. They understood that this would give them a better life for their other kids. However, they made meaning of those experiences. That's not for me to decide. However, from my perspective and from what I've encountered, they do cross over and have a chance to grow up on the other side whenever a child passes, whether it was a intentional choice or a miscarriage. And so that can be very triggering for people to deliver those kinds of messages. I mean, I'm getting a little anxious. You can see me clasping my hands. This is a tough topic to talk about. It's even more tough to trust the Spirit and deliver these kinds of messages. And I get it. It's tough. It's very difficult to put your stuff to the side, to be a true channel for Spirit and to trust them. And even if you're getting activated by what they say, to trust that the sitter can handle what the Spirit is saying. Now, there are times that a spirit will just go off the deep end, like they may be cussing up a storm, especially if the spirit was racist. Then I may preface something with, this is not my beliefs, or this is not from me, but this spirit was racist. And they are saying some very, very hurtful words. I know this wasn't all of them. They may have been a great person, done a lot of good things in their life, but the one blemish they had was they're racist. And so it's not for me to take that one piece and color them as a horrible, horrible person. Or if they were anti-gay and say they were just a horrible, horrible person. They're just awful. I mean, I'm gay. I've had lots of spirits come forward who were not okay with people being gay. In fact, some of them will tell me, I can't believe I'm connecting through you. And I will say that to the family, and they will say yes. They will validate that as a piece of evidence that they did not like gay people. and that they're coming through me is pretty shocking, right? The family, in fact, may not believe what I'm going to say unless the spirit were to give me that piece of evidence saying I've changed since crossing over, or now is my only chance. Maybe they haven't changed, but Dustin, you're the only medium that can reach my family. And I realize that this is tough stuff. This is hard stuff. But we've got to be able to get into this. I've had readings, just this Halloween reading. I connected with my first trans child. I think they were 12. And they went by, I don't know if it was they pronouns or the gender that they were expressing. But the family was very tense about it. One family member was on board, the other one, there was hesitation. I wasn't about to get into all that. However, I am going to share that because that's a piece of evidence that's very, very meaningful. And the messages that were delivered to that family were very, very meaningful. But that's not my place to belittle people who may think differently than me, or to try to change their views that they maybe think differently of me. It's to deliver messages. I don't understand why this is so hard. It's to deliver messages. And now, I know that it's easy to say, very hard to practice. And now, for me, I have a lot of clinical training, so I'm a counselor. I have put myself through the ropes to be of better service to people, to help them on their healing journeys. I do a lot of different types of work, a lot of different healing types of work, and I love everything that I do. I always think my grandma telling me, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, now I don't know if I have enough eggs to fill all of the baskets because there's just baskets sitting there that I haven't put eggs in exactly. But, it really shouldn't be hard, but it is hard. If you haven't done your self-work as a medium, as a person. This work relies on us, knowing ourselves, being able to put ourself to the side to allow a spirit to fully come forward. And now, I'm not blaspheming mediums or attacking anyone in particular, but I do want mediums to try to be better. Try to talk about things that you're not comfortable with. Trust the spirit. And see what happens. Because that is probably going to be the next level of your mediumship journey. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, you can see I have a lot of credentials. I've done a lot of things. I'm certified with the Forever Family Foundation, the lead medium of MPI, Michigan Paranormal. I've been around the block in my 27 years of living, but I'm still working, and I'm still getting activated. You can see me clenching my robe while I talk about this, or clasping my hands. It still gives me an anxiety response to talk about these things because they're very tough, but I keep trying. And I would like to encourage you to do that too. So I hope all of you learned something from this today, whether you're a medium out there practicing or you're interested in mediumship. The reading shouldn't be just the medium kind of talking about themselves or what their views of things are. You should be able to hear your loved one's voice in their words. Their loved one's view of the world and how they describe them. That's really how you've got a strong connection, when you can feel their presence, because the medium is truly portraying how they were, their views, their pros, their cons, their strengths, their weaknesses. They're there. And we can only do that if we talk about the tough stuff. So this is Dusten Lyvers, Fabulous Medium, signing out. If you're interested in booking a reading with me, you can go to my website, dustenlyvers.com. Follow me on social media. and wishing you all well. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.